Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources. Hashtag how I got custody. I want to talk about the elephant in the room when you go to court. Why won't you or your attorney address the elephant in the room? I'm talking about, pretending that the mother isn't a child abuser or mentally ill or on drugs or that she committed domestic violence. Oh, your attorney says, don't attack the mother. That'll look bad. We don't want to talk bad about her. That'll look bad. Where do they get that from? Where are they getting that idea from? You don't want to make the other side look bad. There's so many different things about this that are ridiculous. The law says in most states, if somebody is a child abuser, emotionally, psychologically abuses a child, if they're a drug addict, their mental illness, their mental health is a consideration under the factors in the law. Washington State, RCW 2609-191-3, long-term drug impairment that interferes with the performance of parenting functions. The court must consider that. Psychological, emotional abuse of a child. The court must put restrictions on a parent if they find that. So, I was just talking to a couple guys in New Jersey the past couple days. I forget the statute number, but it's in my flow page. They have to consider. They start off with a presumption of frequent and continuing contact and working toward that, but then they have to consider violence and drug abuse and which parent is able to communicate, co-parent. If they're alienating or brainwashing your kid, they're not co-parenting. So if these are think about this. Think very carefully about this, because a lot of you guys, you just let stuff gloss over your head and you don't grasp it, and you let this tool or weapon of the law, you just let it go over your head like it's no big deal, and you just start thinking emotionally about the court. You think, oh, well, the attorney says that I can't do that because it looks bad, so it feels like that's not right. So I'm going to go off of my feelings. You're in a court of law, and the law says that the court must consider. When you read the law, and you find the factors in my flow page links. I don't got every state in there. I got like about 20 different states where there's stuff in there. Common states I get people calling me from: Michigan, California, Texas, Florida, New York, New Jersey. Or when I find something that's really interesting and unique, I'll put a link in my flow page, like Connecticut. Connecticut has these judges put out these pamphlets on contempt, on the factors in the law. And they not only give you a breakdown of the law in detail, they give you a bunch of case law on each point in the law. They're doing hundreds or thousands of hours of research for you. And this is a tool I put on my flow page for free, and it's free game and free argument that's available, provided by judges. And I get people who call me all the time, or not all the time, but almost everybody's called me from Connecticut. They've never looked at my flow page, and it's free stuff, and they've been watching my videos. If the law says the court has to consider, the court has to consider whether a parent has mental illness or abuses a child, and your baby's mom has assaulted you, or domestic violence is a big one. What's in the best interest of the child? To be in a home with domestic violence or a home without violence? Be in a home that's toxic and hostile or a home that's peaceful? See, I would talk to a judge like that, because sometimes you got to talk to them like they're in second grade. But you told your attorney, hey, the mom said that one time she's had these bouts of postpartum depression. She goes, I want to just kill me and the kids. I can't take this. Even if she's joking about that, I'd be using that in court. But so there's this elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is all the things wrong with the other side. And the attorneys say, well, we can't talk bad about her. Why not? The law says that you can. You're an attorney at law going to a court of law to fight for your lawful rights, and the law says the court has to consider whether a parent has mental illness, history of violence, child abuse, and emotional impairment. And in states like Washington, emotional abuse of a child or psychological abuse of a child is an automatic basis for mandatory restrictions like supervised visitation while you get a mental health evaluation or get domestic violence treatment or anger management assessment. The law says the court has to consider these things, and your attorney at law is saying, don't bring up those things that the law allows to bring up. How friggin' dumb is that? You can't possibly be going for this stuff. And when I talk like this, why not go in there and be aggressive? Oh, if you're aggressive, then the judge will be mad at you, or the judge will talk about. Says who? I've seen 25,000 cases since 2001. A lot of you who come passing by my page and don't subscribe and don't want help, you want to tell me your loser story and how you lost in court, and then you say that will never work, and you've never tried it. You loser coming by to drop your loser story here. Nothing you're saying and doing is working. I got full custody of my daughter without an attorney, and I was a warehouse worker who flunked out of college, and I destroyed attorneys and guardian linems and new attorneys and substitute attorneys. I'd beat up on like 5 or 6 different attorneys in Superior Court and the Court of Appeals. And I show you my winning orders. And there's still numbnuts who come across this page because my gender wants to be a loser so bad. We just want to, a lot of guys I talk to, they're like, man, why does it have to be like this? Man, I wish it would be different. Man, why can't she just cooperate? Why can't the judge just rule? Because you're sitting there not doing anything about it. You're wishing that somebody else will do it for you. I talked to somebody and he said, well, the mother's making decisions on school and medical without my consent. Okay, get her found in contempt. Well, if I go to court, then she'll do this and then she'll get me on child support. We agreed to a low amount of, you'll let her violate your rights because you're worried about having to pay money. Okay, you don't give a crap about your rights. Or she's neglecting the child's medical stuff and the kid's teeth are rotten and all this other stuff. Okay, go get custody because she's neglecting the medical needs. Well, I'm afraid if I go to court, they'll just blame it on me. Stop being a PUSSY. Every time you make an excuse why not to go to court, you say, I just want to whine and complain. I hear this over and over and over and over. And I'm sitting here, I won in my court. I had a 20-year winning streak. I was in and out of court for 20 years. I won some and lost some. But obviously, I got full custody, but got the mother in contempt, defending against the contempt, defending against bogus restraining orders, won in the Court of Appeals a couple times. The mother tried to object to my relocation. I relocated, and then I got the mother on supervised visitation because she hadn't seen the child in a while. And then the relocation was dropped. It was a year and a half, but we went through a bunch of hoops, and I wore her down through the war of attrition, and she just dropped it. I'm sitting here winning and winning and winning and winning. And some numbnuts comes across here, and they've seen one case, their own case, their whole life. And they went to court, didn't know what they were doing, didn't try hard, did what their attorney said, oh, don't talk bad about the mom. And they got creamed, and they said, well, if you talk bad about the mom, you lose. And you didn't even try and talk bad about the mom. You just heard it from the attorney. Go watch the Milgram experiment. The average human being, Milgram experiment, a scientist with a lab coat, they had these people volunteer and say, we want you to ask questions to people in a microphone in another room. They answer wrong, you hit the switch and give them a little shock. And then you turn up the dial and you shock them again. You turn up the dial and you shock them again. And the people in the other room will go, no, stop, please stop. And the people running the switch, they turn around to the scientists and say, hey, look, they're in pain. I need to stop this. Like the experiment must continue. Go on. It must continue. Go on. Please go on. And then they would do it to the point where they were at a level of shock that would kill somebody. Like 30% of them did that. Because we're a bunch of sheep and we do stuff just because we're told. The attorneys, they say, don't attack the mothers. Why? Because when they got out of law school and they went to that law firm, the law firm said that. And then those lawyers became judges, and the judges don't rule against the mothers, and the attorneys don't speak up. This is heinous. This is ridiculous. You're letting the mother get away with murder. You're letting the mother get away with murder. And you're dealing with this culture of the court. If the law says I can bring it up, if terms are used in court like oral argument, prevailing party, impeaching a witness, attacking credibility, this is a competition, and your attorney is saying, don't do competitive stuff. Don't talk about factors in the law like child abuse and stuff like that. That's making the mother look bad. They created this radical feminist, don't ever attack the mom stigma on family court. Just like if you were a public defender at a law firm in the Jim Crow South and you say, don't defend these black folks that hard or the Klan will come after us. It's the culture of the court, and it's insane that you won't talk about the elephant in the room. And then everything stays the same, and everybody's being fake and phony, and nothing ever changes. And then you wonder why